The Yamaha HS5s are regarded as the standard 5-inch studio monitor speaker, and in this video we're going to talk about all the features that you get with them, as well as the sound quality that you can expect from the Yamaha HS5s. I've been using the HS5s for a few years now for production, doing live music, as well as doing video editing and post-production work for music and video too, and I've been really happy with the sound quality that I've got out of them. I would describe the sound profile of the HS5s as full yet crisp. The bass is not overly pronounced on these, and the highs have a very crisp sound. Now, you do get several features with them that allows you to change the sound a little bit, but they do have their own Yamaha sound that a lot of people are really fond of. There are some room control switches on the back that allow you to change the sound of these speakers without having to run an external EQ or external processing, but these definitely have their own Yamaha sound regardless of how you set the switches. The Yamaha sound is a really good sound to work with, and you'll find that you can get really tuned into what these speakers sound like, and you're able to use them for a ton of different work. As the name implies, the HS5s have 5-inch woofers, and they can hit a frequency range of 54 Hz all the way up to 30 kHz. They run at about 70 watts at peak volume. On the back of the speakers, we find a level knob as well as balanced XLR and TRS inputs. There's also two switches on the back, one for room control to add or remove low frequencies, and a high trim as well, where you can adjust the sound timbre of the speakers directly from the back. And on the bottom of the speakers, there's an off-on switch and a standard IEC power in so that you can plug any universal power cable in. I really like that the Yamaha logo on the front of the speakers lights up when they're on, so you can always know when your speakers are turned on without having to look around at the back side of the speakers. The HS5s definitely have a classic look to them with their white speaker cones. You can buy the cabinets in either black or white, but the speakers in these are always white, and it just has that signature Yamaha look. The HS5s have been really reliable for me. I haven't had any issues with them ever shutting off or not wanting to turn on or run loud. They sound good at both loud and quiet volumes, and I've used them for a lot of live music mixing, using an Allen & Heath SQ5 as my mixer for these. And also I've just plugged them into my computer using various audio interfaces to use them for mixing projects from Logic Pro, or as well as monitors for video production when I'm editing on Final Cut Pro. There are some people who say they've had issues with noise floor and just hissing on the HS5s. And what I've found from most of those people is they're just not running a very high quality interface, or they're trying to use a headphone out from their iPad or their computer and they're expecting to get good quality sound. You need to have a balanced output if you want to run these. So you can't just expect to plug your computer directly in with an 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch cable, or you can't just run most guitar modelers straight into them if they don't have a balanced output. I also have tried to run some keyboards into them that weren't running balanced outputs, and you're just not able to get a strong enough input signal into the speakers, so then you end up turning up the master volume all the way to get any sort of reasonable volume. So make sure that you're running a good direct box or that you're running a good audio interface depending on how you're configuring these, whether you're using an instrument or a computer of some sort. I ran these with a Nord keyboard and also with a Line 6 Helix, and I did find that I don't prefer the sound of the 5-inch as much as I've preferred 8-inch monitors that I've used in the past when I'm actually performing music or practicing music. I just find the 8-inch speakers give me more of that guitar amp-like feel when I'm running a modeler and wanting to practice guitar at a moderate to loud volume. HS5s still sound good, they just don't have the same punch that you expect to get when you're practicing electric guitar or bass. Although these can definitely handle the frequency ranges of those instruments, I just don't find them to be quite as enjoyable to use as I find 8-inch monitors to use. I've used some 8-inch JBLs and 8-inch Atom Audio speakers, and I just like the sound of those a little bit better for actually playing music. I really do enjoy the sound of the HS5s, and they work just fine for playing guitar or bass through them. But if you're going to do a lot of music practice, I would recommend looking into buying the HS7s or HS8s if you can spend a little bit more money and if you have enough space on your desk or in your studio to fit those larger speakers. But when I'm mixing music or if I'm doing music production or video production, I've honestly found that the HS5s have all the oomph that you need to get good, accurate sound out of them. I think one of the standout features of them is when you compare them to 8-inch speakers like my Atom Audio T8Vs, these just take up so much less space. They still give you almost the same sound quality that you can expect out of the HS8s or other 8-inch studio monitors, but just in a smaller package with a little less low end and a little less punch. So I would definitely consider buying the HS5s if you're looking to save space on a desktop or on speaker stands, or if you're just in a smaller room and you don't have the space to put 8-inch cabinets. My two big complaints with the HS5s is I wish that they could accept unbalanced signal because that would open up the door for running a lot more devices with them. And I wish the cabinets were a little bit durable. These have gotten scuffed and dinged on the corners, and you can see on this one, there's just a nice chip on the side. So you do need to be careful with these because the MDF cabinets can be damaged if you're not careful. So overall, I really recommend the Yamaha HS5s. They're a really great first speaker to buy. They kind of fit in that prosumer gap, and they offer a really great sound profile without being as big as 8-inch monitors. I would recommend these if you're running basic computer speakers or just some of the more compact speakers and you're doing a lot of video production or some music mixing, sound engineering, because these are going to be a great entry into the world of pro audio before you're ready to go all the way up to 8-inch studio monitors. I would also recommend that you get some speaker isolation pads or run them on speaker stands so that you can decouple them from the floor or your desk, because that's going to give you the best possible sound out of the Yamaha HS5s. The HS5s come in at $200 per speaker, which I think is really fair for a speaker of this sound quality and just being in that prosumer level while offering great sound in a compact package. If you're interested in buying a set of these, I have links in the description below. And if you have any other questions about these speakers, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them.